There's no city in America that has access to the resources we're about to get.
Now, you will start to see them here next week, but the whole process will be in phases. 13 different agencies will be working together over the next few weeks. Memphis is also getting a big boost in state troopers with more than 300 members of Tennessee Highway Patrol. The governor said that nearby cities and states may be asked to hold anyone arrested in the crime crackdown if 211 Poplar gets too full.
The Guard will not be making arrests. The Guard will not be armed except and unless the local law enforcement makes requests for that. So this is mission dependent. If that's what's necessary to support the Memphis Police Department, then that will be a decision that's made at the time.
Now, they will officially be here starting Monday. Governor Lee said he's been working with the federal government and other local enforcement to get these plans going, and you will see them again next week. The authorization has officially been made.
Well, Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis also spoke on the federal response to Memphis.
There's a lot of feelings, passionate emotions, whether you're for it or against it. But as the leader of our city, my goal is to make sure that as resources come into our community, we find ways to use them effectively and for the benefit of the residents of our great city.
As many of you know, the Memphis Police Department and local law enforcement have asked for several years to have more federal law enforcement support. We are pleased to know that there are 13 agencies that will be working with us over the next few weeks so that we can see a difference in our city.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about the Trump crime crackdown coming to Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, now the reason why this is happening and the liberal media and the Democrats can't boo-hoo whine and cry about it is because Tennessee has a Republican governor, and the Republican governor has agreed to work with the Trump administration. So you have the federal government and the state government agreeing that, the feds can come in and crack down on crime in one of the most dangerous cities, not just in the United States of America, but the world. Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, and let's just say Stephen Miller, who seems to be leading this crime crackdown, he fired up local law enforcement to work with federal law enforcement in order to make Memphis safe again. And I gotta tell you guys, I am super excited to see the results of this Trump crime crackdown. This is probably one of the most exciting stories that I've covered in a long time, because nothing makes me more excited than cracking down on crime and making communities safe for law-abiding citizens. Take a look.
To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all-of-government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift. We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. I cannot tell you guys just how satisfied I am personally, personally for me, with the Trump administration 2.0. It is way better than the Trump administration 1.0. I am getting everything that I voted for and more, I cannot stress that enough, how happy I am with the current administration, And again, this is part of the reason why. It's because crime has been a problem in these liberal cities for a long time now. And Democrats, liberals, the media, they can deny it all they want. But the reality is that the people in these cities do not feel safe. And if you want to create opportunity, especially for black folks, right, in these cities, you have to clean up crime. That has to be a priority, okay? Because the people there, the citizens there, they're feeling it. They're feeling the pain and suffering that comes with high crime in cities like Memphis.
Dog, I have never seen a city like Memphis that don't want law and order. Y'all have been wilding so long that y'all think it's normal, dog. Motherfuckers down here, you can't go to a concert without them breaking into your car. Y'all snatching grandmas out their cars at the motherfucking light just to crash that shit. Grandma done worked 20 years in Kroger. Finally bought her a motherfucking 2022 Nissan Altima, and you stole it, wrecked it, and now she left with nothing, gang. But y'all's complaining about national. That's just one story, one instant. Y'all complaining about the National Guard, state troopers, and all this. Memphis Police Department has been operating under 50% for the last year, since damn near COVID. They don't have officers to enforce these laws. They have no help out here, bro. We need all the help we can get. Between the real crime, the hard crime, and when I say hard crime, real crime, I mean the robberies, murderers, sexual offenses, things like that. We still gotta deal with traffic control. I don't know about y'all. I was involved in a hit and run earlier this year. Hit my shit, tore my front end up, and kept going. MPD still ain't caught them folk, gang. They don't have the resources to catch every. It's probably a hit and run every day in Memphis. Man, these folk can't keep up with that shit. We need help, dog. We need help. My child grow up in this city. Your children growing up in this city. Why don't y'all want help?
And the new federal task force in Memphis has already made an impact. Like, for example, Pam Bondi announced 93 arrests made in 72 hours by the Memphis Safe task force. Now, here's the thing. Part of the reason why you're seeing these arrests, again, is because you have more law enforcement out on the roads. And this is something that, again, people are noticing and they're picking up on.
What I'm trying to tell y'all, listen, y'all can sit here and play with these state troopers, these National Guards, all these police, all these. I'm telling y'all, y'all gonna lose. Y'all gonna lose, man. Y'all better get somewhere and sit down, because it's hot everywhere. Every side of the city is hot, fool. They got a chopper in the sky right now. Ain't nobody getting away, man. They pulling over anything that moves, man. Y'all out here want to play. Tell them they trying to make an example out of everybody, anybody out here with anything going on. If you got in motion, you might want to get some slow motion, get somewhere and get laid up. I'm telling you, man, because they out here grabbing y'all left and right. I'm telling you.
This video is for my Memphians and my Memphians only. Baby, it's hot as hell outside. And I don't mean the 90-degree weather, okay? It is hot as hell outside. Baby, do not get your ass on that highway. Keep your ass on the main roads. And if your tags is not right, keep your ass on the back roads. Because they is out. They is not playing. I don't know where they find these sheriffs, where they find the cops at in Memphis, who gave them battery packs now, because we used to outrun the cops on the highway. They used to look at us as we going 90 miles per hour around them. Now they ain't playing no games. You don't got your seatbelt on, a ticket. You 5 miles over the speed limit, a ticket. Your tags, you got them drive-out tags, a ticket. If your car look like it don't supposed to be on the road, which we know that's how it go down here, ticket. Y'all better stay home and stay safe.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Already created impact, right? It feels like there's more law enforcement in Memphis already. I'm going to explain to you guys why that is, because it's not that the National Guard, the military, is out in the streets and making arrests. That's not what's happening. Actually, the federal government is just freeing up local law enforcement who are lacking. They're lacking in manpower. They're freeing them up to do more, right? To fight crime because the federal government is taking over other activities that the local police would otherwise be doing, but now they have the freedom to do more. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Federal law enforcement is ramping up its efforts in Tennessee as part of the Trump administration's latest crime crackdown. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth touted the first 3 days of a new task force in Memphis. The pair said federal officers will continue to patrol the streets despite a government shutdown. Listen to this.
When people play politics and shut down the federal government, we don't shut down because President Trump knows crime doesn't stop.
Our department is here to enable you, law enforcement, to do your job, to help protect your facilities, help protect your people.
CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Skanga joins me now from Washington. So, Nicole, what's the reaction from what the AG and the Defense Secretary had to say?
Secretary Pete Hegseth's visit yesterday drew some sharp pushback from Memphis leaders. We heard from Congressman Steve Cohen, who called that show of force militaristic, and civil rights groups are also warning the crackdown risks sweeping up immigrants instead of just addressing Memphis's core problem, violence. Listen to this from Memphis Councilman J.B. Smiley.
It makes me believe that he doesn't care about the people who live here. When you say training grounds, let me go out there. I hear target practice, and I believe that this is not done to bring us any good. This is done to control us rather than collaborate with us, and that's problematic.
These people are so silly. These people are so silly. I honestly really don't understand. Like, what is the purpose of the Democrat Party at this point, right? Is the sole purpose of the Democrat Party to oppose everything that the Trump administration does? Because if that's the case, then they might as well just quit, right? Just quit, because you don't stand for a damn thing, right? Clearly, you don't care about the lives of your constituents as much as you care about essentially just opposing Trump, right? I don't understand. How can you be opposed to this? How can you be opposed to it? I really don't get it.
Now, some local leaders have vowed to make use of the extra manpower, even with their concerns. But there's also an extra financial burden, Vlad. And according to Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris, he plans to send an emergency declaration as early as today, which would basically allow the county to cover rising costs from the arrests. As he put it, the amount of money needed to house each inmate is going to exceed what the city is used to spending.
Wow. All right. So, as you know, Nicole, federal troops are also set to arrive in Portland, Oregon today. What are they doing there, and what else do we expect to see on the ground there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the National Guard is expected to arrive in Portland, Oregon imminently. We also know that the National Guard is expected to arrive in Memphis within the next few days or so. What we know at this point is that they won't be armed or masked. They also won't be making any arrests. Instead, that's going to fall largely on law enforcement. In the case of Memphis, we've already seen 650 law enforcement personnel from 19 different agencies deployed around that city. And we know that there have been 93 arrests so far, and that includes immigration arrests, civil immigration arrests, in addition to criminal arrests. Now, in Portland, that is primarily an immigration crackdown with federalized guard units. Memphis is going to look a little more like what we saw in D.C. last month, highly visible patrols with both law enforcement on the state and federal level working in tandem. The only difference, of course, is that Tennessee's governor actually invited in the help. In Portland, that effort's being led by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. In Memphis, it's being led by the U.S. Marshals Service. But the roster's pretty striking in Memphis. We also see agents from the IRS Criminal Investigations Team, and even the Diplomatic Security Services will be on the ground there. Still just one U.S. Attorney's Office official on the ground, raising the question, really, Vlad, who's going to prosecute all of these cases?
Yeah, indeed. Nicole Skanga.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because, if they're not prosecuting the criminals, right, then, the arrests are kind of pointless, right? I mean, that's also a part of it as well, too. But regardless, what you see here is that the federal government is working in tandem with the local government to crack down on crime. And the way that they're doing it is that they're essentially having federal forces in areas to patrol and to have a visible show of force, right, in order to deter crime. Because, again, you have law enforcement there, okay, federal law enforcement, that deters crime, and then that opens up the police, right, the local police, to actually go out and make arrests, to patrol and to do more, because they have more resources, they have more availability, they have more manpower. That's what's happening, right? So it is the local law enforcement that's still doing a lot of the legwork, It's just that they can do a lot more because of the fact that you have the federal government there in certain areas taking care of certain things that the local law enforcement, they don't have to take care of anymore, right? And this model, okay, was the same model that they use in D.C., okay, which again allowed local law enforcement to be freed up to do more in some of these other areas of the city that actually really need more law enforcement, right? So again, you know, I personally think that this is amazing. I absolutely love this, and I want to see it spread out across all of these crime-ridden liberal cities. And if these Democrats were smart, they would welcome that, right? I mean, I don't understand what is the downside of working with the federal government to make your constituents safer. What's the downside, right? Oh, so some far-left lunatics might be upset. Who cares? But apparently the Democrat Party is so weak that they can't stand up to these lunatics, even if it means saving the lives of their constituents. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But regardless, I think that this is a great thing. I think this is amazing what the Trump administration is doing. And again, I want to see more of it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.